Welcome to The Herbal Ire, your podcast on all things holistic health, medical astrology, spirituality, herbalism, and so much more. Presented by your host, Ire Atla, medical astrologist, herbalist, and naturopath. Let's dive right into today's topic, love and light. Are you looking for unique gifts for your loved one? Know someone that has an awesome knick-knack collection, needs some new pieces? Someone looking for some interesting items to add to their house? Then you need Faded Leaves by Josie. She creates handcrafted clay items that are cute collectible pieces. From mushrooms, ramen bowls, fruit, pizza, and more, these handcrafted, hand-painted items are sure to light up anyone's day. All items are sealed to protect them and shipped safely packaged to prevent breaking. Find Faded Leaves by Josie on Facebook to make your purchase today. Again, that's Faded Leaves by Josie on Facebook. Hi everyone, welcome back to The Herbal Ire. I had something else planned to release today for this week's episode, and if you follow me on social media, then you know that was supposed to be the Keys to Happy Healthy Hormone series, part number 1 of 3 to 5. It depends on, how much I talk. This was instead, I just felt really called to post this instead, and my spirit guides were really telling me that someone needed this episode on grief, so here we are. Also, I am recording this on my phone as my husband took my headset with him when he went out of town briefly, and since I wasn't really planning on recording this and it kind of happened on the fly, I hope the sound is okay. I think it was when I listened to it, but, bear with me. All right. I will see you guys in the episode. Welcome back, dear listeners. I'm Ire, your host, and I will be speaking today about something that has already or will affect pretty everyone at some point in their life, and that is grief. I have had my fair share of grief this summer alone, and I know that I am not the only one. Grief is a part of the human experience. There is no escaping it, sadly, and I find it odd in a way that our souls that come down into a body to go through the human experience over and over again would choose to continue coming back after experiencing grief. After experiencing grief myself, it just amazes me that they want to do this over and over again. Does that make sense? Do you feel the same way? I just can't imagine, after the way I have felt this summer alone, minus all the other years that I have had stuff happen to cause grief, just the thought of having to come back and do this all over again and sob through all these events. I just don't know if I could do that. Obviously I have, because this is not my first life on this earth, and so it has, happened, but man, maybe I'm glad I don't remember all of those past lives, because I can't imagine how sorrowful yet joyful that would be. It'd be very strange if we could remember them. Maybe some of you can remember them. If you remember your past lives, let me know. I would love to talk to you and maybe even interview on my podcast, because I would absolutely be super intrigued to see how that works and how you feel about that whole thing. So let's go on. Today I'm going to explore how grief has affected me, some tips that I have found that help me deal with my grief and manage it, so I was going to pass those on to you today, so hopefully some of these can help you as well. Grief comes in many different forms. It can come from losing a valued friendship, grief from losing relationships with family members, grief from the loss of a loved one or a beloved pet, and all of them hurt just in slightly different ways. And grief is such a weird thing, at least to me. Most days I am perfectly fine, everything's going along great, and then I hear a song or a holiday comes up, or I see something that makes me want to share with that person, and bam, it's like Tear City. I'm transported right back to the very moment I found out about the loss, and it's so hard at that moment in time. And I sometimes wish that was not how it was. I wish it was like a one and done thing. Does that make sense? You find out about what happened, you sob your eyes out, you're really upset, you have some grief, obviously, but then it never comes back again. But at the same time, I'm glad that it's not, and I wish that it wasn't. So I really like remembering the one that I lost and the good times that we had, how they made me happy, how they were always there when I needed them, how I could call on them whenever I needed them, all the memories we made together. Like, they're such a blessing. And they also bring the waterworks with them at the same time. It's a catch-22, I think. So I recently lost my dog of 15 years just a few weeks ago. I rescued her at the ripe old age of 9 weeks old. She was born to a mom and dad that had been rescued by another family, and it turned out mom was pregnant. And they were not really prepared for that surprise. You got puppies. So they were adopting the puppies out because they were not prepared for like 6 extra dogs to suddenly be in their life. And she was really such a bundle of joy from the beginning. I loved, I guess, that dog. Oh my gosh. I was in a horribly dark place at the time that I got her. And my sister was like, you need something to give you a purpose to get up and get out of this house. I'm terrified. I'm going to come back home one day and I'm going to find you not alive anymore because, like, this is how bad it was getting. And so she dragged me out of the house, drove me to this lady's house, and basically put a puppy in my arms and was like, here, you're getting a puppy. And, well, it worked. Having to get up multiple times, day and night, to take her out to the bathroom. I did all the training for her, walked her, being out in the sunshine with her. It all really helped. And I started eating better because I had to feed her, so I would make me food at the same time. And I started exercising because I had to walk this dog at least twice a day. She's West Highland Terrier mix, and oh my gosh, no one prepared me for how much energy this dog would truly have. And so we had to go on a lot of walks. And I started talking through my feelings and what I was going through because I was talking to her about them, and I was just crying into her fur like all the time. And she would just sit there and she would listen. And she didn't judge because that's what dogs do, right? They're just always there and they're super loyal. And I'm sorry I might cry because that's just where I'm at right now. And because of this, I just slowly came out of that dark place and I moved back into a better place. And honestly, if it wasn't for her, I don't know if I would be on this earth right now. Not in this body, at least. I might be back on this earth in a different body for another go around. I don't know. But I definitely would not be where I am today if it wasn't for her. And she went through so much more with me since that day that I got her. But recently, she had become sick, and I made a promise to her when she was a puppy that no matter how hard it was, I would repay her kindness, her loving spirit, and her loyalty with making sure that she never suffered. And that when it was time, I would help her cross over to the Rainbow Bridge. And that's what I did. Oh gosh, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. And I miss that damn dog so much. But after all she did for me, it was seriously the least I could do for her. And then this summer, I suffered a loss of a friendship as well, which hurts in a different way to the loss of my very beloved dog, but obviously it hurts nonetheless. And while I know, like, deep down that not everyone is meant to be in your life forever, some are only meant to be here for a season or two, it still fucking hurts. And it hurts a lot to feel like I had this person in my life for a decent period of time and now they're not there anymore. And that's hard too. And so all of these emotions and feelings show up at the most inconvenient, odd times. Like right now, while I'm trying to record a podcast, I'm driving, when I'm in the middle of work or a conversation with someone else, I'm at the store. Like, they never seem to pop up when I'm, like, alone and have time to, deal with them in that moment, right? Like, I have to be, like, either sobbing through the store while getting my groceries, or I have to leave, forsake the groceries, and just go sob in my car, and then maybe come back later and start over again. And you just don't know if you're going to get through the store again the second time, so you're kind of like, well, I guess I should just keep going. And it's hard. It's so hard. Grief doesn't really show up when it's the best time to actually experience any of those feelings and work through them. Does it? It does not. Gosh, it does not. So, through all of this, though, I have developed some habits, some self-care items that have really helped, and I thought they could help some of you as well. And my guides have definitely been pushing me towards this, telling me that someone listening needs these tips I'm about to share, so I know it will help at least one person, and that is enough for me. So I have 6 tips that I've been using that I want to talk to you about today. These help you work through your grief in a healthy manner and help you when those feelings suddenly spring up at the most inconvenient times, because we all know that they will. So, number 1, feel the feelings, which seems obvious, but there's so many times when we don't actually feel them, right? They come up, we stuff them down inside, or we push them away because I don't have time to deal with that right now. But you need to practice actually feeling the feelings when they do come at a time that is better. So when they come at a time that is inconvenient, you have the tools in place to work through it in a healthy manner and not just stuff it down. So what does this involve? This involves actually letting the tears flow, letting any anger out about the situation, screaming into the void, whatever works for you to let that emotion truly be felt and heard. Crying is okay. It is a human emotion that allows us to expel all those feelings that are stuck in our body. And if it isn't released, it turns to disease. What we don't release turns to disease. Just trapped emotions, feelings, they turn into illness down the road. They get set into our nervous system and they cause dysfunction and they lead to illness down the road. So we need to let those emotions out. So much of what I do in my practice is just really getting down to the root of when problems started, what was happening during that time, and then fixing that root cause, which I will tell you about 90% of the time is not an illness itself. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's something that happened at that moment that is cemented into your nervous system that has been trapped and you have not let out. 90% of the time, that is what my clients need, is work and help releasing those emotions from that moment in time, getting them out of their system, and it's amazing what the turnaround is. So get those feelings out. Number 2, try tapping. EFT, or the Emotional Freedom Technique, is a proven method of helping to release trapped emotions. A technique, there's many of them, but a technique that I learned recently from the Hey You Human website is one that I now use often, and I can attest that it does actually fucking work, and it works well. I have been using it a lot lately with tons of great success. I've been using it with my family. It's been great. So in this technique, you speak out loud whatever feeling you're having at that moment, no matter how irrational it sounds, no matter how untrue you know it is, while you're tapping on certain points of your body. So this technique works through the vibrations and on a vibrational level on your nervous system to release that feeling, that emotion. So here is how it works for this specific technique. So you use just the fingertips on your right hand and you start tapping lightly right above your right eyebrow. While doing this, you say those feelings out loud. I hate that you left me alone. It's unfair and I hate you. I wish I was the one who left instead. I wish we had left together. I hate that you're not here to talk to me anymore. I'm angry that you left me alone, etc., etc. It doesn't matter how awful it sounds. It doesn't matter if it's not even true. It is just exactly what you are feeling in that moment. So you start by tapping above your right eyebrow, and as you speak those feelings out loud, you move to your right temple, then under your right eye, then your upper lip, then your chin, then your right collarbone, then under your right armpit, then to the top of your head, and then back to your eyebrow. And you just keep going in this circuit while you get these feelings out. And you continue this until you feel like all those feelings have been expelled inside of you. And then you make sure to anchor in some good positive feelings before you end, because you want to replace the negative energy that was in the nervous system with something positive instead, so that you anchor in what you want your nervous system to feel like. So something like, I'm glad I had the years, days, months I had with you. I miss you. I love how you cared for me. I'm going to be okay. The days are going to improve. I can go through life without you and I can thrive. Whatever works for you, whatever feels right to you in that moment, say it. And this will help to remove stagnant and pent up emotions and feelings and replace them with the positive emotions that you want. And this in turn will help heal your nervous system and help heal a lot of the grief that you're feeling. Number 3, increase your time in nature. This one is imperative, especially if you live more in like an urban setting, right? Where there's not a lot of nature around and you have to maybe drive to get to nature. Nature is healing in so many ways, and it helps us become connected with the earth and the universe again and remind us that we are here for a greater purpose. We are connected to the universe, the planets, the earth herself, all the plants out there. We're connected to all the people on this earth, and we're all connected in some way. And it helps remind you that you are not alone, even though it may feel like that. So it helps our bodies regain balance. It opens up our root chakra. When we walk barefoot on the ground, we feel the vibrations and the energy from the earth. Mother Earth wants us to be happy, and she wants us to be in harmony with our bodies and also with nature. So spend time out there as long as you need to. Spend it weekly, daily, whatever works, but at least try to get out once a week, especially if you live in an urban setting where maybe you don't have a lot of like open spaces around you with a lot of nature. Make it a habit to drive once a week to whatever is the closest nature area to you and get out there into nature. Ask Mother Earth to show you what you need and to guide your steps and help you with your healing. And she will bring you exactly what you need, even if you don't know it at the time that that's what it is. Number 4, dedicate time to your spiritual practice. However spirituality works for you, make sure you are dedicating time to that daily. For me personally, I've spent more time at my altar, talking to my lost loved ones, communing with nature and my guides, offering gifts to the spirits of my lost loved ones. I journal and meditate daily. I consult my tarot cards and runes for guidance, and I'm working on listening to my intuition more when those grief feelings pop up, on how to deal with them and remind myself that it's okay to feel them. This is a normal part of life. And it's definitely helping, for sure, when I feel more connected to not only nature, but the unseen realm that we don't really realize is around us. With my meditation practice, I can get pretty deep, and after years of practice, so this is not something that might happen right off the bat. You gotta, sometimes work your way there, but I can get pretty deep, and I've been able to connect with different like spirits and guides and possibly even deities, if you believe in deities. And it's been really eye-opening. It's been really helpful. It's been really healing. And it's been something that I really, really don't know how I would have gotten through this without that. So highly recommend making sure that your spirituality is not being neglected in this time. Number 5, rely on the support of your family and friends. Those who love you want you to be happy, and they want to support you in any way they possibly can. So reach out to them and let them know when you are struggling and could use support. It helps if they too knew the person, but it's not really a requirement. Leaning into your support network will have you, leaning into the support network you have will help you in those low moments with the grief, when the grief is at its highest. And lastly, number 6, engage in plenty of self-care. Whatever self-care looks like to you, make sure you are doing it often. It is so easy to get lost in our grief and our emotions and then forget to eat or shower or leave the house or reach out to people, and we isolate ourselves, and then that makes things worse because now we truly are alone, right? We don't feel that connection anymore, and it can make things worse. So make sure you're eating nutritious meals. Your body and mind can't heal if they're not getting the proper nutrition. Make sure you shower at least once a week. It doesn't have to be a long shower. And I know how hard it can be because trust me, I've been there. I just want to lay in bed. I don't want to get up. But water is also healing. It helps to wash away so much more than just dirt. Get a massage, do yoga, tai chi, acupuncture, whatever works for you to get those feelings and emotions up and out of your body and out of your nervous system. And it will be hard at first, but it's something you must do because you need to take care of you. And that is all of the tips that I have started using myself. I hope these have helped you. If you have anything you have used while grieving that has helped you that is different from what I said, I would love if you shared it with me. All of the links are in the show notes for that. I would absolutely love an email, DM me on social media, whatever works. On IG, I'm Twin Raven Naturals on Instagram, and you can DM me through there. And if you want to send an email, that is info@twinravennaturals.com. Or if you want to leave a voice message, the link is in the show notes. To do so, it is anchor.fm /the-herbal, HERBAL -EIR, EIR. And when you get to that page, there will be a box there for you to click and leave a voice message. So I really hope that these have helped you. I would love it if you share tips with me. I could make another episode and include more helpful items for those who, need them or would like to share them. That would be perfect. And that's all for now. I will catch you next week. Just before we go, I wanted to let you know about something that's happening this whole month. It's a summit that I am participating in, I'm speaking at, that I think you would love as well. And I would love if you joined me and the other speakers. It's called the Modern Matriarch Summit, and it's a free month-long summit designed to help you along your motherhood journey, reconnect with your feminine energy, and embrace all the ups and downs that come along with it. So if you identify as a mother, this is the perfect summit for you. I'm speaking tomorrow on how the planets influence your motherhood journey and how to get back to your roots. That'll be at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. This summit is filled with amazing speakers from all over the world that are offering so much insight and wisdom, and there's a new speaker every day for the next, start on the 1st, so 31 days. If you identify as a mother, this is a summit you do not want to miss. I've already watched the first few speakers from started on the 1st and going through today, and let me tell you, wow, just wow. So this is something you do not want to miss. The link to join is in the show notes. The summit is being held in a private Facebook group. Each speaker will go live each day with their topic. So if you can't attend live, it's recorded and the replays will be available in the group to watch at a later time. I would absolutely love if you join me and all the other amazing speakers for this once-in-a-lifetime summit. Please join at the links below in the show note. I would love to see you there. Love and light. That's it for another great episode of The Herbal Ire. Tune in next week for more valuable content with your host, Ire Atla.